Is it a good time to sell your home right now in the spring of 2023? Can you get top value with these high interest rates? And if you can sell right now, can you even buy? I'm getting these questions a ton right now, so I figured it'd be good to put a short video together today to give you an update on where things are right now in regards to these particular situations. My name is Trevor with the Trev and Jess team of Love It Properties, and yes, I am filming this in my kids' treehouse. This topic of whether to sell is weighing really heavy on a lot of folks right now. So let me give you some real experiences that I've had this spring to help you decide if this is the right time for you to sell. I'm going to try to let this video be more data and experience driven so my personal bias doesn't get in the way. As always, I'm looking for ways to protect my clients, and that means that buying or selling right now may not be the best option. So here's what we are seeing. In our Raleigh vicinity, home prices are up over 9% from last year. That may come as a complete surprise to you since mortgage rates were supposed to be sending house prices down. Actually, last month, the highest average price per square foot was recorded in our area. So why is this happening right now? Well, the short answer is severe supply shortage. Listings were actually down in April 10% from the month of March. That completely goes against the normal trends, which typically add 10% month over month from March to April to May and then peaking in June. So this shows that supply is really low in a time in the market that's typically very hot to buy. Also, demand isn't lacking. Mortgage rates are higher than they were this time last year, and yet people are still flocking to our Raleigh area. Much of this growth is coming from markets that are losing value rapidly right now because of higher cost of living there. So although we are seeing higher per square foot values than ever before, some of these markets like California, New York, Colorado, they're coming here and they're getting a deal. So low inventory plus high demand equals rapidly rising prices. So how does this affect you as a seller? Well, one thing it means is you might be able to sell for more than you ever have before. However, from experience I can tell you there's a lot of listings out here that are trying to list higher than the comparable data can support, and they're still sitting on the market after months. 37% of the listings in our market right now have been on the market for over 90 days. So that tells me that most buyers aren't willing to overpay even though the prices are high. They need solid data to support pricing. This may not be the case 100% of the time, but in most cases I'm bumping into with buyers and sellers right now, this is definitely the truth. I'm also seeing a trend with sellers right now who are trying to sell for the values of higher priced comps, but they're not willing to do any of the updates that those comps had. The assumption is that the market is so limited that maybe they don't have to do all that work and they can still get that high price. However, in my experience this spring, those are the same listings that have been sitting there for over 90 days and keep making price drop after price drop. Buyers just aren't willing to overpay for something that isn't worth it right now, especially if they have to take a higher interest rate. Now to the question of whether you can buy right now. With such limited inventory, this really is a challenge. For the clients I've helped to do this spring, it was stressful and complicated. But I'm finding there are many options to make this work. One great option is to sell and then negotiate a long rent back period. If you can make a lot of money on your sale right now, then the benefits of risking the buying game may be worth it. First, sell your property and get the cash. Then negotiate up to 60 days of rent back so that you have time to shop. Being able to start shopping with your home under contract, or even better, with it already sold, gives you a ton of power in this market in order to be effective when the right home comes up. This worked fantastic for a recent client that I helped do this. We listed their house, got multiple offers, were able to negotiate a 60-day rent back, and we got under contract on their new house prior to them even closing on their sale. It was stressful, but ultimately it was totally worth it. Here's another option for you if you're thinking about selling in this market. New construction. There is a lot of inventory hanging out there in the new construction world, and there's more coming this spring and summer. If you can find a great new construction option, then they may be open to a contingency upon selling your home, which enables you to sell your home prior to closing on the new construction. You'll still need to negotiate for a rent back on your sale. And you may need to have a backup plan in the event that you need to have a short-term lease for a few months or stay with family or friends. But again, if you're able to sell yours for top dollar, then it may be worth the headache so that you can land a really great home. I've got a client in this boat right now, and the builder's been super flexible, allowing them plenty of time to get their home sold. Here's some things I wouldn't recommend right now. Shopping for a home contingent upon selling yours. There is such low inventory out there right now that sellers are being really picky about what offers they select. Contingent offers on resale really aren't working. If you want to shop, you need to find a way to remove that contingency or lower the risk for the seller so that they are willing to entertain your offer. Here's another thing I wouldn't recommend: listing too high. You may want to see if you can sell for way more than is justified, but I don't see that working very frequently in this market. A lot of these are the homes that have been sitting out there for months. It would make much more sense to list either right at or slightly below where the market is trending right now in order to take advantage of the demand and create a multiple offer situation. Every home listing we've had this spring has sold for way over what the seller's expectations were. But the rule was that they all listed for right at or slightly below that market value. And the last thing I would not recommend right now is listing without counting the costs. It can be an amazing decision to sell right now, especially if you can capture all of your equity tax-free, pay off all your high interest debt, and get into a living situation that's close to what you're paying right now. However, make sure you fully assess the cost before jumping into this process. What you don't want to happen is to go through all of that effort just to throw every bit of equity from the sale into your new house and then end up paying way more than you expected you would. I'm a big fan of counting the cost before you ever go through all of this effort. You may even be surprised after doing the investigation that you can afford the monthly payment and even get into a lower monthly cost situation by using that equity wisely. Interest rates are bound to come down as this year goes on, so don't run away from this process just because they're high currently. You may have to live with those high payments for a year or so, but odds are there's a chance coming in the future that you can refinance and drastically reduce your mortgage interest cost. So to sum it up, is it the right time to sell? I think for some, the answer is a resounding yes. And for others, it may not make financial sense right now. So I'd advise you to wait it out. I don't think house prices are going down this year, so your equity in your current home is going to continue to rise. But also realize the more expensive home that you want to buy in the future is also going up in value, so don't wait forever. Talk to a trusted real estate agent about your options and your cost to sell, and also talk to a trusted lender about the cost to purchase a new home. Getting all of this data together right now will help you assess whether it's the right time